Hello friends. The range of motors for more than 25 years of history is very diverse. For impressive weight and dimensions, only the most efficient engines are needed, but the first Helix sometimes lacked power. The most modest gasoline aspirated M102, 2.0 liter 113 and 2.3 liter 126 horsepower, is distinguished by short-lived camshafts and a timing chain, which wore out after 100 to 150,000 kilometers. And after 100,000 kilometers, due to aged valve stem seals, oil consumption increased. The 3-liter M103 R6 170 horsepower uses a not very reliable single-row chain and a capricious KE Jetronic injector. Few people know how to repair and tune it. The M104 superseded the M103 in 1994. It is a fairly reliable atmospheric R6, 211 horsepower, but suffers from oil leaks from under the cylinder head and the oil filter heat exchanger housing. In addition, the engine control wiring dries out with age. Isolated cases of overhaul sometimes occur after 500 to 600,000 kilometers. In 1998, the M104 was replaced by the M112 V6 215 horsepower. This motor is prone to increased oil consumption due to aging of oil seals, natural wear of the cylinder piston group, and a faulty crankcase ventilation system. The chain nurses more than 200 to 250,000 kilometers. The 5-liter gasoline V8 M113 is the M112 with an additional pair of cylinders. It has similar problems to the M112. The chain resource here is also over 200 to 250,000 kilometers. M273, 388 horsepower, replaced the M113 in 2007. It is characterized by wear on the intake manifold and timing drive, chain stretching, and gear wear. In addition, sometimes there are seizures in the cylinders. M137 V12 444 horsepower was installed on a limited series of top-end AMGs in 2002 to 2003. The engine failed. Problems were delivered by the ignition system, the unbalanced cylinder operation control system, the deactivation system for the left row of ZAS cylinders, the current heat exchangers, and the pull-out thread for the cylinder head bolts. Atmospheric diesel engines OM602 and 603 are real millionaires. The main thing is to monitor the health of the cooling system so as not to overheat the engine. Then you will have to change the cylinder head. The 3.0 TD with 177 horsepower is also considered quite reliable, OM606. After 500,000 kilometers, there are episodes with wear of the connecting rod bearings. In addition, the K40 relay unit regularly fails. Soldering is necessary. The 270 CDI and 400 CDI, while much more dynamic and fuel efficient, will require higher repair and maintenance costs. In the 5-cylinder turbodiesel 270 CDI, OM612, problems sometimes cause flaps in the intake manifold and cylinder head. The 4.0 CDI OM628, perhaps the most complex and specific. It is demanding on the quality of fuel and is also prone to overheating. The sleeve or cylinder head may burst. Injectors, injection pump, turbocharger, and timing chain may require attention after 200 to 250,000 kilometers. 3-liter OM642, 211 to 245 horsepower, is the only diesel in the line since 2006. Up to 200,000 kilometers, a turbo diesel does not cause problems. After that, it may be necessary to replace the turbocharger, injectors, or an extended timing chain. Sometimes the exhaust manifold collapses, pieces of which damage the turbine blades. It is worth noting that in addition to the characteristic problems, many engines have already been affected by time. All kinds of sensors, relays, and control units fail. The wiring dries up, attachments wear out, air leaks appear. Manual transmission is found only on the first helix with gasoline M102, 103, and diesel OM602, 603. 4 and 5-speed automatics, 722.3 and 722.6 respectively, are maintainable and hardy. The 722.3 is able to go without intervention up to 500,000 kilometers, and the 722.6 up to 300,000 kilometers. Diseases of age-related automatic transmission are the most common. Since 2006, together with the OM642 turbo diesel, and since 2007, together with the M273 gasoline, they began to install a 7-band automatic 722.9. It is more modern, but less hardy and more expensive to repair, which may be needed after 100,000 kilometers. Summing up, an electrician and a torque converter. Loss of oil in the transmission is a common phenomenon. With age, the front axle begins to buzz. The rear axle is much stronger. Vibrations in the transmission after 200 to 250,000 kilometers, as a rule, are caused by wear of the cross pieces of the front or rear drive shaft. Vibrations can also be caused by worn CV joints of the intermediate cardan shaft. Fortunately, specialized services are able to restore them. After 250 to 350,000 kilometers, the transfer case may give up. Bearings and gears wear out. With age, the pneumatic control of the locks begins to fail. Front knuckles require regular maintenance. By 250 to 300,000 kilometers, they will need a bulkhead. With age, the steering damper weakens, and from old age under heavy load, the thrust of the front axle panhard can collapse. High weight accelerates the wear of the brake system. The front discs will barely last 30,000 kilometers. Moreover, the regular braking system is not effective enough. It is better to install brakes from the top version of AMG. After 15 to 20 years, the brake lines rot. After a while, it is the turn of the vacuum brake booster and the master brake cylinder. Traces of corrosion are found on the body and door hinges after 5 to 7 years. On older cars, rust attacks the rear welds, sills, windshield frame, and tailgate. After 15 to 20 years, the body and shock absorber mounting brackets, as well as the rear spring supports, rot and fall off the frame. Attention should also be paid to the metal bands for fastening the fuel tank. The iron exhaust system is also short-lived. Geländewagen requires regular cosmetic repairs. The hatch often adds problems as well. It starts to flow. Drains need to be cleaned periodically. Many owners complain about the insufficiently efficient heating system. On pre-styling machines, the stove faucet often starts to leak. If, however, the stove motor fails, then it will not take all day to replace it. The mounts are located in the engine compartment, but it is not easy to get close to them. After restyling, the mounting scheme was changed, and the replacement is not very difficult. Often the electrician is acting up, and the driver is haunted by error messages. It is especially characteristic for cars of the end of 2000 to 2002. Pre-styling versions are less problematic in this regard, as they are devoid of complex and capricious electronics. However, with age, wiring inevitably deteriorates, relays burn out, contacts oxidize, and micro cracks appear on the tracks of electrical circuit boards. If you know of other model malfunctions, be sure to write about it.